Welcome to the only figure-of-8 track on the F1 calendar. We're here at Suzuka for qualifying today ahead of the Japanese Grand Prix.
Well, qualifying isn't about adjusting your approach necessarily, it's more about trying to repeat a low fuel run that you've practiced prior to this session. You're looking for perfection on the lap, and that's hard to achieve if you're trying something new. There are some variables that can stand in your way, however. Track position or unexpected yellow flags, for example. Coupled with ever-changing track conditions, it's important to be out there at the right moment. But as a driver, you have to try and ignore these distractions and just keep your mind focused on that one perfect lap.
Okay, that's pretty disappointing, but we can turn it around tomorrow.
The grid is all set then for the race tomorrow, but before...
Obviously, I expected a better session, but these things happen from time to time.
We're live today from the Mie Prefecture of Japan as we look forward to the Japanese Grand Prix. The 2015 race here was one of only 5 Grand Prix in history to feature no retirements at all. Although with the highly competitive field we have today, I don't expect we'll be repeating that stat anytime soon. We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure-of-8 Suzuka circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at turn 1, although the best place for overtaking will be through 130R and into the final chicane. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Let's talk about Varsandi. They're starting towards the back of the field today in a car that is fast, so they'll be disappointed, won't they?
It's not a nice feeling, I promise you. They've got a quick car underneath them, but they've got onto the grid today and they need a pair of binoculars to see the start lights. They'll be desperate for a good start to make up for some of that deficit.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Kimi Räikkönen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel and Ocon, Bottas, Leclerc, Hülkenberg and Brendan Hartley, Magnussen, Ericsson, Varsandi and Alonso, Van Dorn, Stroll, Roman Grosjean and Sergei Sorokin. Hamilton, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Carlos Sainz starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
This is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix. Let's give them a race worth watching. Okay, our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap. limit. We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs. Try to stay with him, he might make a mistake. We could still regain the position. Okay, clear. Some information on Hulkenberg. They're retiring from the race. Brendan's dropped out of the race. We're running an excess of fuel. We can turn up the engine to mix mode 3 if you need it. Turn fuel to rich. Okay, the boots aren't looking too worn at this point. We should have plenty of life left in them. Let's make sure we keep managing them properly. Pit window open. Let's box this lap. Box now, please. Box this lap. car behind has come in. They're now on the soft tyre, softs on the car behind. The gap behind us is 2.0 seconds. The track is clear. Green flag. Okay, gap to leader, 17.4 seconds. Okay, gap ahead is 9.1 seconds. We have excess fuel weighing us down. Set the fuel mix to mode 3. Let's push. Our gap to the car in front is 7.2 seconds. There's 5 laps of fuel remaining. The gap to the car ahead is 8.5 seconds. There's 4 laps of fuel remaining. This is your final lap of the race. The gap to the car behind is 2.5 seconds. Gap to car in front is 9.3 seconds. There's 3 laps of fuel remaining. That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
And as we can see, it's time for the podium, and as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Well, the lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Well, I have to give it to Lewis Hamilton. You know, it was just the kind of drive you'd...
Good day today. Tell us about it from your perspective. You were cutting your way through the field during the race. Your R&D team has been working non-stop. Appreciate your time.